It is National Brain Cancer Awareness Month, which brings attention to the disease that the National Cancer Institute estimates nearly 24,000 people in the U.S. will unfortunately be diagnosed this year. Because of stats like that, Lori Costantino was terrified when she discovered in her 20s that she had a brain tumor. But thanks to her surgeon, who later became her husband, she survived to become one of my best friends. And joining us now with her incredible story is Lori, her husband, Dr. Peter Costantino, who is a cranial-based surgeon here in New York, and the executive director and senior vice president of Northwell Health's New York Head and Neck Institute, and they have a precious 9-year-old son, Peter. Good morning to all of y'all.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. I'm so glad when I learned it was Brain Cancer Awareness Month, I wanted to share your story because you and I met. We'll have to tell the story. We met in Bloomingdale. I had just gotten a job. I was shopping for earrings, and you were there wearing these beautiful necklaces. And we'll talk about your company in just a minute. But first, share with the viewers what happened to you in your 20s, Lori, when all your friends are planning weddings, just graduating from college.
Well, I was in my 20s, and I was working at my first job at Elle magazine, and everything in my life just started to get progressively worse. I think one of the worst was I was always exhausted, and my balance was off, I was gaining weight, and everybody else was having fun around me, and everything in my life just seemed to be just getting worse and worse. I even remember a point where a friend of mine called me and asked me if I was drinking in the morning because I couldn't even walk a straight line. Wow. So that went on for about 5 years until I finally was diagnosed. What were your symptoms? The biggest symptom, I think, was complete exhaustion to the point where you have to plan out your entire day because you don't know how you're going to make it through it. Weight gain, loss of balance, just living in a total fog. So, Peter, what was she diagnosed with?
She was diagnosed with a relatively rare form of brain cancer called a chordoma, which actually begins in cells that were left at the very base of the skull, kind of where if you put your finger on the tip of your nose and in your ear, where those lines would come together. Those cells were deposited whenever she was developing as a fetus and unfortunately turn into a tumor very rarely in some people as they get older.
Wow. The chances of survival for Lori in her 20s weren't good, right?
No, particularly then. We have some new techniques that I've been fortunate enough to participate with that really increase the ability for someone to survive this type of a cancer.
Like what?
Well, we have techniques instead of disassembling the entire forehead and facial structure. We can now go through the nose and take these tumors out largely completely, and we have some additional treatments in the form of radiation therapy, namely protons, that can really go far in treating chordomas. And then y'all fell in love and got married. It was a process.
It was a process. It was a long process. Obviously, he has a God-given gift, a skill, but then when I got to know him as a human being and the sacrifices that no matter what's going on in his life, he gets up every day and helps people. And
so glad you met him because he saved your life, and now I have a best friend, and they have this precious son. Anything you want to say really quickly?
Well, my dad saved my mom's life, and she wouldn't be here if he didn't, and I wouldn't be here if he didn't do that, so thanks.
Well, I know you are so special to your parents. They love you very much, and I love you very much. Go to her website. It's luludk.com. You can buy these necklaces, and some of the money goes to brain cancer awareness. Survivor bracelets. You can also go to Nordstrom.com for the smaller ones. All right. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you for having us.
I love you, girl.
I love you.